Have you ever noticed something strange? You know they don't care about you the way you care about them. You know the relationship isn't going anywhere. You know you should probably move on. And yet, you still think about them, when you wake up, before you fall asleep. Sometimes even in the middle of your day, a random song, a place, a notification, and suddenly, they're back in your mind. You might even ask yourself, why am I still thinking about someone who doesn't even think about me? The answer isn't always love. Sometimes, it's the way your brain handles unfinished emotional experiences. When something ends without clear closure, your brain doesn't always know how to file it away. It keeps returning to the same questions. What happened? Why did they change? Did I do something wrong? What if things had gone differently? And every time you think about it, your brain tries to find an answer. But if there isn't one, the loop continues. That's why uncertainty can be harder to let go of than rejection. If someone clearly tells you, I don't want this relationship, it hurts. But your brain has an answer. When someone disappears, gives you mixed signals, or leaves things unresolved, your brain keeps searching for meaning. And that search can keep the person alive in your thoughts. There's another reason this happens. Your brain doesn't only remember people, it remembers emotional experiences. Maybe they made you feel wanted. Maybe they gave you attention when you needed it. Maybe there were moments when everything felt perfect. Your brain stores those emotional highs. And later, it can replay them. That's why you may miss someone. Even when you don't actually miss the relationship, you might be missing how you felt when they gave you attention. And there's an important difference. You can miss a feeling, without missing the person who created it. This becomes even stronger when the attention was inconsistent. One day they were close. The next day they were distant. Then they came back again. That unpredictability can make your brain pay even more attention. You start checking your phone, thinking about what they meant, remembering their last message, wondering if they'll come back. You're not necessarily chasing the person anymore. You're chasing certainty. And that's why simply telling yourself, just forget them, usually doesn't work. The more you force yourself not to think about someone, the more your brain can bring them back. Instead, try something different. When the thought appears, don't fight it. Don't romanticize it either. Just notice it. This is a memory. This is a feeling. This is my brain looking for an answer. Then bring your attention back to the present. Because healing isn't about never thinking about someone again. It's about thinking about them, without feeling pulled back into their world. And there's one more question worth asking. Do you actually miss them? Or do you miss the possibility of who you hoped they would become? Sometimes, we're not attached to the person. We're attached to the version of the relationship that existed in our imagination. The future we pictured, the conversations we wanted to have, the apology we never received, the closure we never got. And letting go means accepting something difficult. Sometimes, you don't get the ending you wanted. You create your own ending. By accepting what their actions already told you. Because someone doesn't have to explain everything for you to recognize a pattern. If they consistently showed you that they weren't available, that was information. If they repeatedly chose distance, that was information. If you constantly had to question where you stood, that was information too. You don't need one final conversation to validate everything you already experienced. So the next time that person suddenly appears in your mind, don't ask, why can't I forget them? Ask, what am I still hoping to get from them? Maybe it's attention. Maybe it's closure. Maybe it's validation. Or maybe it's simply the feeling of being chosen. And once you understand what you're actually missing, you can finally start giving that need to yourself. Because moving on doesn't mean their memory disappears. It means their memory no longer controls your present. And one day, you'll think about them and realize something has changed. You still remember, but you don't feel the need to go back. That's when you know you've finally let go.